That's the sound of gunshots flying past my window. My lights are out and the house is still. I am crouched down in my cupboard. I close my eyes and imagine myself to be somewhere else. Welcome to Simple Stories at Simplicity CU. This story is through the eyes of someone who lives in an inner city, political stronghold, and this is their story through their eyes. The sound of gunshots was normal. I live in East Kingston. I grew up hearing them, and chances are I may die by them. I'm a domestic helper, and I work in an upscale residential area in Kingston and St. Andrew. I love my employers. It is like they have been God sent in my life. I have 2 children, a boy and a girl. It is very hard. I am a single parent and I did not complete high school. But I was determined to give my children an education, something that I did not get. The shots continued. I refused to allow my children to continue in this cycle of violence and poverty. Girls started having children from the age of 12. Some of them, they have no choice. Young boys succumb to gangs. Few persons get out of this life of squalor and crime that they did not choose. No one cares. Not politicians, not the media, not uptown Jamaica, and certainly not the police force. When I became pregnant, my children's father walked out. It's a natural thing in this part of Jamaica. I was young and ignorant. I thought I had found love. He was older and I was still a child, and I believed everything he told me. I had no guidance. I mistook sex for love. Not to mention the lunch money or the few money that I was given. I thought I was lucky. Ghetto life is serious. There's no one to hold your hand when all you see around you are crime, sex, drugs, and injustice. Sure, people talk about helping the poor. Politicians only come around when there's a disaster or elections. You start to believe that's all there is to life. I had my first child at 14, became pregnant at 13. And by 19, I had a second child. And their father also walked out on me. He wanted to abuse me physically. And as much as I only had a little, I told myself, not in this life. This was not going to happen to me. I knew there had to be more to life. So I had to have a better way. I had to find a better way. There has to be a better way. Whoosh! A firebomb just flew past my window. A shining light. Oh my God. There came shouts. Screaming is heard in the distance. I am alone at home, and I thought how frightened my grandmother would have been. She passed a year ago. God blessed her. to adult literacy evening classes, which was offered through the church. I learned to read. I felt very proud of myself. I could read with my children. My life changed when a friend of mine introduced me to a family who was looking for a helper. The Lees were honest and genuine people. They didn't look down on me. They treated me with dignity. They had 3 children, 2 boys and 1 girl, and I was taken into their lovely house and showed kindness. They paid me above minimum wage and gave me encouragement. I never allowed my children to be home by themselves. In this situation, in many cases, that is just a sign for kids to get in things or for them to get abused. My employers always gave me the time off to go and pick them up. I picked them up from school myself. Or I would have a neighbor whom I trusted, whose children attended the same school, to pick them up. My children were not allowed on the streets or anywhere without me. I did not want to lose them to the streets. I bought them a lot of books, and on Saturdays I would take them to the library. My son was the older. He was the eldest, and I told him to look out for his sister because we only had each other. Lucky for me, my employers took an interest in my children. When the violence flared up in my area, they made us sleep at their house in a back bedroom. They bought them games and clothes and would include them in any activity their children were doing. For this, I will be eternally grateful. My children learned to swim, among other things. They got to do things that I was not able to do. They were able to go to good high schools. My son went to Kingston College, and my daughter goes to St. Andrew High School. I saved. I through a partner, which is an informal revolving loan program. My biggest dream is to buy a home someday. My son is now at university studying in natural science, and he lives at my employers as their daughter is also at university. My daughter also lives there with them. This has taken a huge burden off me. I can never repay these people. I only come back here every now and then to make sure that no one breaks into the house or no one lives in it. But little by little I take my things out. But I've been going to NHT. It's a national housing trust that helps people like myself with low income. And I am hoping to get a house soon as I continue to save for the deposit. My employers also told me that they would help me. These people are such a blessing. I tell my son when he starts working, he'll have to help with my daughter's university fees. I would also like to go back to school myself and pursue my dream of becoming a nurse. I look around me in my community and I see the poverty and the hopelessness, the crime and the squalor. Even animals live better. And it's not about being poor, because you can be poor, but life doesn't have to be about this. But it's a lie that has been told, a mindset that people have developed, and a helplessness thinking that someone has to save them. A lie that politicians have told them that they are the answer to their problems. There seems to be no change. The years roll on and things get from bad to worse. The little boys grow up to be gunmen and they're killed before turning 16. Or they all want to become DJ, dancehall artists. Despite these circumstances, women keep having more children, which in turn fuel the cycles. Men continue to impregnate women. and leave them? Where does it end? I look up and I realize that morning was on the horizon. I heard angry voices and police sirening. It is the same day in, day out. The police and residents in a battle as to who shot whom or who was wrong or right. I never get involved. Don't judge me. I use the excuse of having a living job. I scurry around to pack a few things to take to work. I check in once in a while on my house. My neighbors keep an eye for me. But I can't wait. I can't wait to get out of this area. No, I'm not turning my back. My hope is to in turn volunteer and also help. Just as how I get out, I will help someone. I don't dare tell anyone of my plans except my employers. But I am planning to buy a 2-bedroom apartment. When I leave, I plan to leave everything behind. The house I will give to someone who wants it. It belonged to my grandmother and it was a blessing. But I want nothing to remind me of East Kingston except my memories. I look forward to this day with anticipation. We have come to the end of another Simple Stories with Simplicity. See you.